Did the red apple like launch out of a bag into my car? Did God himself keep me from having to eat a red delicious? No way. No way. No way. I'm gonna have to go check my fridge. There's no way the only one that fell out was the red delicious. You're kidding me.
The only kind of apple that's like not actually super round, the one that's got the weird like bumpus texture going on, is the one that rolled out.
Yeah.
Weird.
But how? Hello everyone, howdy. I'm Ty2. Did the webcam lighting change since I set it up 10 seconds ago? Life is so hard. Hi everybody, I'm Ty Tuesday. Welcome to my orchard. I hope you're excited. I have a huge variety of apples here today. I have a little bit of paper towel to wipe with, a little bit of water, so we'll be able to rub them down. Let's talk through, first of all, the concept of this tier list. So this tier list is going to be about eating apples only. We're not talking about baking them into stuff. So some of these might have validity in that regard, right? Like some of these might hold up really well to baking, something along those lines. But that's just simply not what we're considering today because we only have so much time. I only have so many apples. I only have so much volume in me for apples, which is a great time to talk about some of the apples. For example, so first one, the ones that I had never tried before that I'm kind of excited for. Crisp, sweet, miniature apple, rocket.
Little guys.
Little guys. And I'm excited for these. Look at them. They're adorable. Look at these little. They're so dinky. I love them. They're so dinky. I have a Brayburn in here. I was only able to find one of them out of the pile. I don't know where they mixed the rest of them in. My only concern with this one, it was like, it's a little sticky on the outside in a way I don't know if I love. We'll find out together, I suppose.
Apple or gooseberry, who could say?
Yeah, maybe it's a little tomatillo. But yeah, so we got one of those. Let's see, this one, I want to say this is a bag of Honky Crisps. No, these are Sweet Tangos, which I am excited to try because that's one that I don't think I've had in a very long time. I have a Granny Smith just because, like, you know, good to have that indexed. It's a good apple. I like them. A couple Envy apples, which I think will be okay.
You're right. This is an embarrassing amount of apples that you should be slightly ashamed
Cosmic Crisps. Yeah, dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, multiple people in the grocery store approached me to just talk to me about apples. They were like, "This guy knows apples." Well, no, it was like they were like, "Hey, what are the good ones?" I was like, all right. I think these are the Honey Crisp. Yeah, these are the Honey Crisp. Yo, thank you for the resubs, everybody. A little Fuji, which I think Fuji's classic. I think Fuji is, like, Fuji and Gala, I think were like two of the first, like, cultivars. I think they're cultivars. But either way, those were like some of the first ones that spread out that were like actually pretty good and not like red delicious, you know? Not like the worst apple in human history. Speaking of which,
Back in like the 90s or so when they started to sell apples that were good again.
yeah. But yeah, just a big assortment of apples. I think we should just get to it. I should just, you know, start tasting them, evaluate them to my best. So a Fuji, yeah, let's hit it. Anyone who's got misophonia about someone crunching into an apple,
my favorite kind
probably
of
shouldn't
apple
be
is
here
cat.
I actually love the sound of crunching into an apple, so I'm down for this.
Same.
Yeah, it's like, as far as like mouth crunches go, it's like the most pleasant one to me.
The nice thing is you do get some of that, like pretty classic apple flavor. There's like a light sweetness to it. No real sourness on these, like very, very minimal, if any at all. Good though, like really good texture. The crunch you get on these just is, you know, pretty fantastic. Really good snap on it. Like like a little waterier than I'd like, and I want just a little bit more character. This just feels like a very, like almost like a sugar sweetness, as opposed to some of the more like...
They're very fructosey.
Yeah, as opposed to some of the more like complex sweetnesses you get from like Honey Crisp and Cosmic Crisp and stuff, where there's a little bit more of an offset. I mean, this I think is like just like a perfect like B+ apple. Like I think this is just like the definition of a B+ apple. I think you were right. Fuji's a really good place to start.
On a scale of 1 to 10, it's a B+, correct? That thing you said you were gonna do.
Yeah, exactly. No, I just have a document. I'm gonna put them in order. You know what? Let me just do a tier list like I always do. Sorry, I'm a fighting game player. I'm just gonna start putting in tiers. It's what I do. Okay, so top of B for now, I'm gonna say is Fuji. Once we get a couple of these, I'll put them up on screen behind me once we have a little bit of formatting.
Other strong.
All right. So let's wash this one off. This is a Sweet Tango, which is one I haven't tried in like a really long time.
Never had those before. This is going to be completely new to me.
I'm excited. Let's see. Oh,
that's a good crunch.
Yeah.
They got firm. That sounds like they got firm flesh.
This is fascinating because this almost like leans more towards pear in like the flavor, but the texture is firmly apple. But yeah, for what it's worth as well, I pulled these out of the refrigerator before going just because like that's how I like to eat apples. Again, this is my tier list. If that's weird, I'm sorry, and I recommend you try putting apples in the fridge. You're welcome. You're welcome for when you start doing it. They're amazing. Yeah, I mean, for me, I really appreciate like the general like flavor of an apple and those characteristics. But this is like, I don't know, what is the difference between pear sweetness and like apple sweetness? Because it like really is more towards that. The flesh texture is fantastic. Yeah, man. Well, that's crazy. that texture is nuts.
The thing about pears, I know I've not had that many pears, but like they kind of feel like they lack a little bit of that. Yeah, they have absolutely zero tartness whatsoever. Is the main difference between apples and pears. I feel like
that's kind of what I'm catching with this, which considering it's named a Sweet Tango.
And apples taste more distinctly fructose sweet, I think, whereas pears feel a little bit more like sucrosey sweet, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, like not quite leaning as much to just like kind of a white sugar sweetness as like Fuji, but like kind of that way. For me, I think they're like below Fuji. I'm not sure exactly where yet, but I really treasure like the very forward juiciness. That's another thing that Fuji did pretty well, is it had like a moderate amount of juice kind of come out of it when I like bit into it and really got in there and started masticating aggressively, as one does. Not so much with this one. It was a little bit of a drier apple experience. I think that was kind of the element my brain was refusing to articulate. My apologies. So, yeah, like a little bit of a drier apple, which again, maybe that's your thing. I like biting into them and being like, it feels like I bit into a little Capri Sun from nature.
Yeah. All
right. Ooh, you're pretty. I don't know what kind of apple this is off the top of my dome, but these are very pretty. Oh, these are Envies. That's an appropriate name. Again, these are redder than they look on camera, so apologies there. So let me turn off color correction for a second here fully. Yeah. That's
pretty good.
It's pretty good. It makes apples look a lot better. That is upside. That is a good part of it. Well,
yeah. Also tomatoes, melons, and apples. I'll do it. It sounded a little mushy.
Yeah,
comparatively.
The flavor is a little weak. It's a little watery. It's rolling a little bit more towards like kind of watermelon-y in a weird way. I think that might just be like the dilution overall. Yeah, the flavor's just really not doing it for me. It doesn't have enough. I really need more. I need more anything in this, but like, I think sourness would help it because like it's just a little too sweet and empty in a way. It's almost got that smoothness that you find in like aloe vera. They're like aloe drink products, or like watermelon, or like cucumber, that kind of thing. It's got a little bit
That
of
just
that.
kind of the thing that's like, it doesn't taste juicy, it tastes watery.
Yeah, and it's not like a bad thing, but as far as like
Yeah.
eating apples, it's definitely not what I'm looking for. So yeah, I think that's our first C, because like again, not actively like unpleasant, but not what I'm looking for. Texture not quite there, flavor not quite there. It's kind of not quite, just kind of a not quite there apple. They're fine everywhere else, but like in Michigan, the thing is, I remember like, so how big this apple looks next to like this apple is how big Michigan Honeycrisps are compared to like a regular apple. They are like the size of a goddamn softball. They are legitimately like, UMN. Okay, sick.
That'd
mom's
be
roasting me?
University of
That's life.
Minnesota, not Michigan.
Minnesota, sorry. God, Minnesota, yeah. But yeah, either way, really good ones from Michigan. Unfortunately, not so much here, but yeah, huge apples. Like you had to take them into account as part of your meal, because they were just so f***ing big. Very likely going to be our first A or S rank here. Just as a heads up, these are phenomenal apples. But yeah, enough fucking around. Let's get to the good stuff.
Now that's the crunch I want to hear. Now we're talking, man.
It's like that Willy Wonka meal and gum, but like for real. Because you get this huge meaty crunch up front that's just like super satisfying. Hits you with a really pleasant wave of flavor, like sweetness with a little bit of like complexity to it. Like yeah, the Honeycrisp name is appropriate because like the notes it has on top of like a normal fructose sweetness are very like reminiscent of like honey in particular. Man. And then you just like break it down a little bit more. And I think the thing that like really impresses me about Honeycrisps and Cosmic Crisps, which we'll get to later, is I feel like they hold on to their firmness from beginning to end. Like you never break it down enough to get like a mealy bite, which is incredible. Like it becomes just like juice before that. And speaking of which, damn, this thing juicy. Like these in particular are apples that adore being put in the fridge because it just makes them pop like super duper hard. Oh man. Yeah, these are just incredible. These are just fantastic, man. Yeah. Easy S though. Like easy S for sure. As far as eating apples go, like, sorry, I typed honky crisp on the notepad document and almost died. Let me get this captured too. All right. Ooh, this is one I wasn't aware of that I'm excited for. Opal Sweets. I feel like I haven't tried a yellow apple in 100 years.
They tend to be extremely sweet.
Yeah. And that being said, I personally am a little down on sweet apples compared to most folks, I think. They're good. I just prefer a bigger, more complex flavor. All right, well, let's try an Opal Sweet. Maybe they hit real good. Oh man, why is that skin so firm? That's a weird problem for an apple. The weird thing is, there was like no crunch. My teeth just like skated off of it for the most part, and it just like pulled a bunch of apple skin off of it, and it's like not great. These would be a great projectile apple, I feel like. The flavor feels really close to the Fuji, honestly. But yeah, way mealier. The skin is just, what's going on there? Like, I feel like the skin is like notably thicker too. Like you can see the thickness of it. It looks almost like a tiny melon rind. Like Oh man. Yeah, don't. Not loving this. I'm gonna try and get just enough talk of the skin. Let's have it that flesh. Like hard to get just flesh too. Either way, current worst apple to simply eat. Yeah, probably like a cooking apple, right? You know what? Party time, boys.
Given the way you described it,
Yeah.
given the way you described it as like tasting like a Fuji, though, it feels like they're kind of bland for cooking apples.
Yeah, honestly, I think that's the big problem. Here are the rockets.
But probably a good sauce apple.
These ones I was excited for because they're super tiny and I think they're adorable. I want to give them a little kiss. These things are hilarious. A little on the expensive side, but they're little guys. They're bespoke little guys, and I'm kind of into that. So let's see if I'm gonna hate eating all these apples. God, did you all realize how many apples I have? Okay, let's see.
Did you know that the average apple weighs like an average of half a pound?
They're almost like cider leaning a little bit, like
Oh,
that.
really?
Yeah, like in a good way. It's like a gentle sweetness with like that extra like cider like depth in them.
The kind of warmth of cider sort of flavor.
Yeah, these are pretty good. Yeah, these are actually pretty damn good. Yeah, I'm into this.
I've sold me on these because I would like a small apple every now and again. That sounds good to me.
Yeah, and like I said, they're like a little bit on the expensive end for sure, but like, who knows? Maybe like long term, you know, the price will like normalize on these bad boys.
My typical snacking fruit of choice is a classic Clemson. So yeah, I'm glad to see that they're good.
Yeah, I like them. They've got a really good like. I think the thing I was worried about is that they would be like very one note and very just fructose forward, nothing else, no complexity on them. But no, there's like a really nice little bit of cider on it. In fact, you know what? I have so many of these little. Let me check a second. Let me pick a.
Have you found yourself a real tiny guy over there?
Oh my god. Let me show you compared to. Okay, let me get one in one hand and one in the other. Okay, so here's the Honky Crisp apple, and here's the. Just kidding, it was right here.
Look at that little guy.
All right, this was the Brayburn, BRAE. I've given all these a really healthy rinse and wipe, so like we're good on the stick factor. But let's see. I have no preconceived notions about this guy. I have no idea what a Brayburn is even supposed to taste like. I have no clue. I don't know if I've ever had a Brayburn.
That sounded pretty firm.
It's a little.
Might have just been. So it was the skin that was really, really snappy then.
I could only find one of these, and I think I know why. So I'm gonna not rate this one. To the trash. Here we go.
Very firm flesh on a Granny Smith. Very tart. Very sweet.
You do sink through it. Like there is a bit of a tenderness once you get through the initial layer. Or no, this one's not particularly juicy. But I'm catching more than I usually do. The flesh on this is like almost like a little bit vegetal. Like it almost has like a bit of like a chlorophyll taste to it, which I never really picked up on before. That sourness though, man. I gotta give it up, man.
Gramney Smythe.
Gramney Smythe. Oh, did you hear they announced Smythe 2?
Oh damn, I didn't.
Ooh, talking about apples, going thumbnail mode over apples. Yeah, this is a sugar bee. Sugar bee is one I've never tried before. I had never heard of these before today. I, in particular, like I said, generally lean a little bit away from the sweeter varietal of apples. So this is going to be one that I might rate lower than most people if you prefer sweet flavors. So keep that in mind. Let's see what a sugar bee is. Ooh. Oh. That's really good. Oh, man. Very close to Honey Crisp in a lot of ways. Yeah, reasonably firm flesh. The really good snap. The sweetness was pretty fantastic, as you would expect. But it's not the one-dimensional, one-note sweetness a lot of the other sweet apples have been falling into, like that trap. Particularly like the sweet tango and the sweet opals, you know, those were pretty, and it was largely because it was just like fructose, nothing else behind them. Dude, base to stem, that was all fantastic texture. It holds really nicely in the mouth too.
You know, it happens.
I can't believe I'm saying it. This is better than Honey Crisp, I think. At least this one is. Man, right-handed Goku, I bought that Red Delicious apple. I don't like hate them so much. Eating one would make me die. Like I wouldn't like dodge an apple. No way. I checked my entire car. I checked the fridge. I checked all the bags. Did it like sneak into a bag with a good apple? Did Jokers trick me later? No, that's just the Cosmic Crisps. Yeah, I think I have a guardian angel that didn't want me to have to suffer through eating one of those. Cool, man. I'm gonna find it after stream for sure, but it's gonna be like in the floor of the garage.
Do you have your receipts?
Huh?
Do you have your receipts?
Oh yeah, no, the receipt will definitely show that I got it, yeah. If it doesn't just show 100 apples. But yeah, no, it was one of them I bought. It was in my cart. I have a feeling it just flew out of a bag or something. I don't know. Well... That's wild. This is not a bit. I would not have gone. I don't know if you heard it, but I opened my garage, which is directly under here. So you might have heard the garage opening or someone slamming a trunk. That was me. That was not a bit. All right. So final apple. It's a tier list. Very appropriate to have a final boss theme playing during this because the Cosmic Crisp, in my opinion, is absolutely the current final boss of the apple meta. Everywhere I've had them, they have an unbelievable stability. They hold up so good all the time. Oh man, so here we go. Cosmic Crisp. Okay, not too bad. Yeah, man, they're really good. Yeah, chat immediately get to me just being like, hey, that's pretty good. Oh god. Yeah, just like, god, I love this apple, man. Oh man, I have to compare a couple more of these, but I'm like officially so full of apples. I'm finally hitting the like too many apples to have in one guy. All right. So I think for today's list, this is what we're ending with. Which I don't know. I feel like that's as far as like eating apples go. I feel pretty good about this tier list. I think this is totally fine.